Hello and welcome back to FC26 Spin the Wheel edition, brought to you by myself, Bevchenko. Today we have a very busy three games. We have got a game at home against Liverpool, that's 5th versus 3rd, then an away trip to the Amex against Brighton, followed by a match against the champions-elect Manchester City. So we're going to jump straight into the action, but before I do so, if you could hit that subscribe button, it'd be very much appreciated. So no changes to the starting lineup against Liverpool. Malik Fofana continues his role in left midfield in the absence of Barish Yilmaz, who has been dropped, and he's not even on the bench because Callum Hudson-Odoi is actually preferred to him. Anderson, Fofana, so it sort of gets by his man. It's a sold-out City ground today, as you'd expect for such a historic tie between the two former heavyweights of English football from the 70s and 80s. Obviously, Liverpool have gone on to bigger and greater things, and Forest struggled for the best part of 23, 25 years. But they're both back at the big table. And here's Dan and Doy, half a chance. He has a crack. Oh, just over the bar. Could have had Alisson beat there. Alisson plays it short to captain Virgil van Dijk. To Frimpong, who's already lost the ball a couple of times today. Wirtz gives it away to Anderson. It's going to be a big game from Elliot Anderson, I feel. Oh, Kirkez getting the better of Dan and Doy there. Dan and Doy puts it out for a throw. So Liverpool in 3rd, Nottingham Forest in 5th. Big game for both of them, really, for their aspirations. Liverpool with, well, one eye on the title, but Manchester City are flying away with it at the moment, so this could be a nail in the coffin if they don't get a win. And Nottingham Forest seeking to secure that 5th position, which will guarantee them Europa League football, which owner Evangelos Marinakis has demanded. And that sells to Ola Aina. Plays it down the line to Dan and Doy. Liverpool already back with numbers. Dan and Doy looking good. Should have probably given the ball to Igor Jesus a lot quicker than he did. He tries to fire a ball in. David Luiz with a great ball to Morgan Gibbs-White. Needs it on his favoured right foot. Loses possession. McAllister with a great tackle there to Wirtz. Plays it through to Isak. The most expensive signing in English football. Frimpong with the throw. Rain's starting to come down now at the City ground. Won't help either team. And there's half a chance. Jakuna just bullied off the ball by Isak there. And Isak should probably have done a lot better. It's a poor ball down the line. Nico Williams with the ball. He's lost it. Florian Wirtz has a shot. Easily saved by Matt Sells. Quickly brings the ball out of his feet. Lays the ball down the line to Dan and Doy. Crossfield ball to Malik Fofana. What can he do with it? He needs some support. He's looking for Nico Williams, and he's got it. It's gone out for a throw, though. It's a great idea. Possession pretty close at the moment, 48% in favour of Liverpool. Mo Salah absolutely burning the former Liverpool Academy graduate Nico Williams. And here he is, Salah. Tries to curl one into the top left-hand corner, but sails wide. Not sure if Matt Sells had that covered. Dan and Doy once more. Everything's going through Dan and Doy at the moment. Lovely play by Forrest. Lovely one-touch football. The block again from McAllister, who's had an excellent game, keeping Morgan Gibbs-White at bay. Isak running through, and he plays a lovely ball through. Forrest are in trouble here. Arguably 3-on-2. And what a beautiful save from Matt Sells to tip it around the post and keep it scoreless. Fofana doing his defensive duties, but loses out to the header, comes back, goes back out to Florian Wirtz, and another corner, Nico Williams, who's looking rather tired already. He's definitely had his work cut out this morning. Great header away by Elliot Anderson. McAllister on the edge of the box, shot comes in. Well held by Matt Sells once more. That's a long looping ball. Goes to no one, though. So it's easily collected by Alisson, who pings the ball, wins the header, gives it to Kirkaz. 1 minute stoppage time added on. And that should be the whistle. 0-0 at the break. Liverpool, the much better team that half. Kick off second half. No changes for either team. McAllister to Kirkaz. World Cup winner McAllister plays the ball through to Isak. Giacunia clears up. And he's beautifully kept the ball in there. Douglas Luiz, not had much to do. This man has, Elliot Anderson. He's looking for a pass to Mo, gets intercepted by Mo Salah's thigh. And here comes Mo Salah down the line. Nico Williams with a crunching tackle. Isak is so strong. He's keeping everyone at arm's length. Mo Salah with another effort on target for Liverpool. Reminds me of the Forest Wolves game, but obviously Forest are on the wrong end of this. Nico Williams jumping in there. Giacunia with the header. Ball comes back out. Great save from Cody Gakpo. Liverpool are all over here. Verts, edge of the box stuff. Frimp. Gravenberch. Here you go, Jesus is going to come off now for Evan Nielsen. He's not had a sniff today. Short corner. Mo Salah. Lost out to Fofana. Fofana gets it again when Florian Wirtz tries to win the ball back. Evan Nielsen looking for a through ball. And he's got it. Could be half a chance for Forest here. They've got to make them pay when they can. Here's the effort. Saved by Alisson. It was on Evan Nielsen's weaker left foot there. He was trying to get Dan and Doy to keep up with him, but alas, it wasn't to be. Elliot Anderson, great strength. Plays the ball to Evan Nielsen. Dinks the ball over the top to Elliot Anderson. Plays it down the line to Fofana, who's touched, got the better of him there. And Frimpong picked up. Konate back to Alisson. Risky football by Liverpool, but they have the quality to do so. Fofana well out of position now. But that's not going to matter because he's picked up the ball. And he's on his favoured foot, I was going to say. But he's hit with the outside and it's gone wide. So Callum Hudson-Odoi will be coming on for Fofana. That's his last piece of the action for the day. Can Callum Hudson-Odoi spark some magic? Because they don't get many chances in this game, I don't think, will Nottingham Forest. So they've got to make it count. Only really had the one opportunity. Great play by Elliot Anderson today. Dan and Doyle looking tired. Brennan Johnson's going to come on for him. That's 20 minutes to go. Virgil van Dijk to McAllister. Liverpool sensing a bit of urgency here. Evan Nielsen looking to play a ball through, and he does so to Morgan Gibbs-White. He's not the fastest of players though. So Liverpool players are getting back. If he can just cut the ball back to someone. And he does. And Evan Nielsen scores. It's 1-0 Nottingham Forest. What will this mean for the title? Manchester City will be rubbing their hands with glee if the score stays like this. I mean, it's only February, but it would pretty much guarantee the title, I reckon. Forest got the tails up here. They can sense another goal. Brennan Johnson trying to through ball to Morgan Gibbs-White. Doesn't come off. To Evan Nielsen, rather. Here come Liverpool on the attack once more. McAllister has been at the heart of everything today. Isak. Liverpool play it back. It's Kirkaz. To Virgil van Dijk. Across to Gravenberch. Frimpong. Brings the ball forward. Florian Wirtz with a quick 1-2. Liverpool being patient here, considering there's only 5 minutes to go. Forest won't mind keeping it in Liverpool half. Liverpool getting an important goal there against Aston Villa. Leeds getting an important goal against Aston Villa there. They're also just behind Nottingham Forest in 6th position is Villa. Leeds absolutely battered Nottingham Forest a couple of games ago. And there's a free header, and it's off the line by Douglas Luiz. It's massive, massive clearance. Could be a chance here. Brennan Johnson has certainly got the pace for it. Morgan gives White dispossessed on the edge of the box there. Brennan Johnson should probably have had a look himself. But that is a resounding win for Nottingham Forest here today. And I think they've just handed Manchester City the title already. So next up, Brighton down in 16th against Nottingham Forest in 4th. So Forest have moved ahead of Liverpool in the race for Champions League football. Forest going to name the same team as last time. Igor Jesus will need a performance if he wants to stay in the starting lineup. And we kick off at the Amex on a sunny day on the south coast. Mitoma back to Van Heck. It's Kadioglu. Igor Jesus pressing well. De Kuiper. Viffer. Mitoma looking to get down the line. Dan and Doy with a looping effort, but easily collected by Verbruggen, who's in goal for Brighton today. Van Hecke. Seems to be quite a bit of space in that centre midfield, which worked very well for Nottingham Forest against Wolves a couple of games ago, but they found Jose Sa in inspirational form, to say the least. Some would say it was the greatest goalkeeping ever. Ooh, and there's half a chance. Forest giving the ball away. Reefer. Forest fans making the most of the noise. Bit quiet and a bit subdued by the Amex faithful. Might liven up here with Jorginho, but Jacunha comes to the rescue. Fofana now on the break, looking to put a ball through to Igor Jesus. He finds him, who gives the ball away needlessly with his attempt to get to Dan and Doy. Baleba to Kadioglu. Fofana is out of position here, and he wins it back though. Probably go for a throw in, it does. Geni wants to play a ball to Baleba, loses out. Lovely ball to Igor Jesus, who just puts it wide. He should have done better. He should have got it on target. Shaking his head there. He knows he should have done better. Lovely power on the shot, but just nowhere near the accuracy that's required. Morgan gives White with a potential foul there, but the referee says play on, and the Brighton player is still down. Could have an injury. Might be forced into an early substitution. Not sure who it was. I think it was Baleba. Jorginho's through here, but Douglas Luiz, another Brazilian, coming to the rescue. Ball over the top for Igor Jesus. Van Hecke clears. Only as far as Elliot Anderson, but Baleba wins the header. Geni looking to get down the line. Elliot Anderson's tracking. Kadioglu to Baleba. Jorginho has been dispossessed every time so far, and he's nearly got dispossessed again, but he gets the ball to Mitoma, lays it back to Reefer. Brighton playing patiently right now. Lovely bit of football from Brighton, but this is where Forest are dangerous. If they can get the ball back here, they can spring a counter, which they so often do. Ange Postecoglou's team sitting comfortably in 4th place as it stands. A win would be phenomenal for their chances of Champions League football, never mind Europa League football. Free kicks Forest there, late tackle from Brighton. And Baleba injury confirmed there. Forest will look to get at him, I think. Ball across to Morgan gives White. Can he get shot away? No, he can't. Reefer is there to collect. Mitoma been quiet this half. Quiet again because Dan and Doy's just won the ball back. Here's half a chance. Wrong foot for Elliot Anderson, but he's got some power. It's not far wide. Evan Nilsson's coming on early, so Igor Jesus is not happy about coming off in the 41st minute. It's just not happening for the Brazilian, who's gone quiet. And the last time it didn't happen for a striker at Forest, Callum Mwendo, he lost his place in the lineup as well. They need to score goals to Forest because they don't make many chances. Resolute at the back, they don't concede many. They don't score many either. Jorginho. And that's the half. 0-0 at the Amex between Brighton and Hove Albion and Nottingham Forest Football Club. I mean, no changes for the second half for Forest. I think Brighton might be forced into that substitution for Baleba. He seems to still be on the pitch at the moment there. Dan Ndoye using his pace. He's going to bring it inside now. Looks to thread a ball through to Morgan Gibbs White, and he does. And there's the shot, and there's the goal. The Forest captain doesn't know how to celebrate right now. 1-0. That's a big goal for Nottingham Forest. Sprinting back to the Forest fans. It was an interesting finish. He managed to cut inside and outside the foot, just drilled it into that far corner. Nico Williams looking a bit tired, but he's going to stay on for now. And the Forest fans are making all the noise at the Amex as you'd expect. I must say the atmosphere has been terrible from the Brighton home fans this game. Hardly heard them at all. De Kuiper. Weaver. Plays it to Van Hecke. Forest looking to see this one out before their next trip to Manchester City, which Liverpool will be praying that Forest do to Manchester City what Forest did to Liverpool, and that's pick up 3 points. Big ball over the top by Elliot Anderson. Cleared away by the Brighton defence. Matoma. Been absolutely non-existent today. Dan Ndoye wins it back. He's looking for some support. Plays it to Jacuna. Forest looking to spread it about a bit. Elliot Anderson plays the ball to Malik Fofana. Looking for Nico Williams to put some help in. It doesn't come. Handball there. Nico's going to get substituted now. Putting in effort past few games. Jed Spence comes on in his place. Jed Spence gets his first touch there. Gives it to Fofana. Wants to bring it inside again. Jed Spence dispossessed. Jed Spence knows all about winning competitions. Won the playoff final with Nottingham Forest before his move to Tottenham, where he won the Europa League, which Forest currently find themselves doing rather well in at the moment. They had a bad start, but they've picked up recently. They'll be looking to progress in that tournament as far as possible, because owner Evangelos Marinakis also wants Forest to win that, as well as the FA Cup. Doesn't ask for much, does the Greek shipping magnate? Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz. It's opening up for Douglas. Oh, is that a foul? It is. So a free kick here. Douglas Luiz will be happy for this one. Can he get it over that wall though? That's the question. That's the tricky part. He has it. Nah, hits the wall straight off. Hits the wall. Here's the second effort though for Bruggen. It's probably a bit too to the right hand side for Douglas Luiz, and Forest don't really have any left-footed free kick specialists. Should have probably laid it off if anything. But here come Brighton, Genny to Jorginho, who's worked tirelessly to try and make things happen today. Baleba to Kadioglu, who's also had a good game. Jorginho to Weaver to Matoma. Brighton need Matoma to come to life in the remaining 12 minutes. They've not had a single shot so far, which when you're at home isn't good going. Forest trying to double their advantage. Ball comes through to Dan Ndoye. Slips a quick ball through, but it's blocked. The effort by Morgan Gibbs White. Forest looking for another handball. It doesn't come. Referee plays on. Boskagli to Kadioglu. Won by Fofana. Stands the ball up. Header for Morgan Gibbs White. Pushed away by Vifa. Douglas Luiz lays the ball to Dan and Doy. Plays it to Elliot Anderson, who's looking on the edge of the box. And I think, is that tipped away or is it wide? I think it was wide. Douglas Luiz is absolutely shattered. So he'll come off for the final 5 minutes. For club captain, Mr. Nottingham Forest himself, Ryan Yates, who played last time out in that impressive cup victory against Aston Villa. Van Hecke. Brighton need to ping that ball up. They're not doing so. And there they go. Last chance. Jacuna wins it easily. Gives it to Ola Aina. Referee says 3 minutes at a time. Forest just need to be patient now. Dan and Doy. To Elliot Anderson. Plays it to Evan Nilsson. Looks to turn. He does. But he gets 2-on-1 there. Wasn't going to come off. And that's another 1-0 win for Nottingham Forest. Away at the Amex. So important wins for Forest at the moment. Pushing them further up the table than they ever imagined so far. So the champions-elect Manchester City at home against Nottingham Forest. Forest unchanged from their last 2 outings. And we're kicking off here in Manchester. A very rainy, typical Manchester weather, to be honest with you. Fofana down the line, trying to make something happen early for Forest. Cross comes in. Cleared by the champions-elect. And it's a free kick there. Must have been a handball by Morgan Gibbs White or a foul. Ortega in goal today, which is quite interesting. Not sure what's happened there. Elliot Anderson to Douglas Luiz. Gives it to Dan and Doyle. Plays a lovely little ball over the top to Ola Aina, who finds himself in foreign territory for him. He should have scored, but it's a big save by Ortega. Forest should have been 1-0 up. Try something a bit different here, Forest. Go try and drill this one with an outswinger. Will it make a difference? Nearly. Elliot Anderson found himself the recipient, but heads it over. Forest really missing that aerial dominance of Nikola Milenkovic and Murillo, who were their best set-piece specialists, should we say. Obviously, the wheel forcing us to sell both of them. So Forest had to change their complete centre-back pairing as the season's progressed. But Jacuna has been pretty much ever-present and has been absolutely fantastic. And Moussa Niakate has come in the January transfer window. And on his return to the club, he hasn't put a foot wrong, really. Ball through. It could be offside here. The flag's gone up. Yeah, I thought so. Igor Jesus needed to time his run better. Reinders to Erling Haaland. Forest managed to get the better of the Manchester City earlier in the season. Can they do so today? Or will they hand Manchester City the title? Offside again by Igor Jesus. He's trying to make things happen. It's just not working for him. And he's definitely going to make something happen here. Intercepting like that. He's blasted that ball and it's just gone wide. He's very angry with himself that he hasn't got that on target. Pep looking a bit dismayed with this performance so far, because Forest have been pinning them into their own half. Right, Nuri. To Reinders. Looking to bring the ball forward. Ola Aina again. But Doku wins it back. Doku advances forward. Jacuna's going to have to commit himself. He does, but Erling Haaland's got some space. This is not what you want to be doing. And there's a clearance by the Forest defenders, and Erling Haaland again. Gets a shot away, but straight at Matt Sells, fortunately. Ball over the top to Igor Jesus, but Rudiger using his strength there to aplomb. And Manchester City push forward again. It's really end-to-end now, this game. Great tempo to the game. Erling Haaland to Reinders. Gives it to Jeremy Doku. Ola Aina has matched him superbly so far. Dan and Doyle looking to play Morgan Gibbs White through. Flag's gone up again here. As Manchester City keep stepping up on this high line. Forest need to play the ball sooner, because they've definitely got the pace, I feel, to cause issues for Manchester City. Erling Haaland using his unbelievable strength. But Ole Einar, once again, with this man of the match performance so far. Lema. To Bernardo. To Rudiger. To Lema once more. Forrest being patient in defence. Jacuna with a crunching tackle on the Norwegian. There's the ball over the top again. Rudiger's going to win everything in the air today. So they've got to be careful when pinging those balls over the top to make sure it's to another Manchester City defender and not Rudiger. Lovely through ball to Jeremy Doku. Half a chance. Crunching tackle from Jacuna again. Had to be careful. And it's a corner kick to Manchester City. Headed away from Ole Einar. Cleared away from Ole Einar. Nori on the edge of the box. Nikate blasts it away to Lema. So Lema plays it down the line to Phil Foden with his first touch of the game. And Nico Williams gets the better of the local boy. Gibbs White. Looking for some space. He's got it. But Rudiger's had a fantastic performance so far. And it's still 0-0 at the break. Both teams have had their chances. Forest, probably they're happier of the two at the moment. They'd settle for a point away in Manchester. Manchester City kick off. Reinders brings it forward. Hopefully we can keep the tempo of the first half. Rodri. Plays it to Lima. Forest looking to break on the counter if they can. Nico Williams. Tracking Phil Foden. Here we go. Forest. Igor Jesus plays it to Nico Williams, who's looking for some support from Morgan Gibbs-White, who just stops running, really. And now, with Nico Williams out of position, Phil Foden's going to get a chance. Niakate with an excellent challenge there, and an excellent block by Elliot Anderson puts it out for another corner. Fofana's looking tired. It's going to stay on for now. Header comes in. Free header for Ruben. Straight at Matt Sells. Dan and Doy brings it forward. There's the ball. Igor Jesus. Trying to get the better of Nuri. It doesn't come off though. I think it's going to take something special for either team to win this. But Manchester City and Nottingham Forest both have players who can make a bit of magic happen when needed. And this is one of them, Phil Foden. Brings the ball down the line. Elliot Anderson's matched him superbly. Things don't get easier for Nottingham Forest. It looks like they've got Liverpool next, which will be no doubt in the FA Cup, I believe. We'll get confirmation of that after this game. Ball over the top. That's too far. Goes to Ruben, who lays it back to Ortega Moreno. Nuri brings it forward. Reinders. Great turn there to get back to Rodri. Erling Haaland. Pings it across to Phil Foden. To Lima. To Kovacic. And he's offside. Plenty of offsides today. Nico Williams down the line to Fofana. And Lima on the... He's run the ball out of play as Fofana. Looking very tired at the moment. Is the signing from Lyon. Mamouche has come on now for Phil Foden by the looks of it. Ball gets pinged back to Nuri. 20 minutes left to go. Rodri dictating play. Sprint it out wide to Mamouche. To Lima. To Kovacic. Forest a bit out of position here. With Manchester City just dancing through. And there's a chance to Jacuna. We didn't even see that block, which almost fell to Erling Haaland. Rodri. Back to Mamouche. He's looking for him every time at the moment. And great defensive responsibility by Nico Williams. Now Forest. Can they counter? Gives it to Igor Jesus, who's looking for some support. And he's got it from Dan and Doy. If he can cut this inside. Half a chance for Igor Jesus, but Ruben gets back. Elliot Anderson wins the header. Dan and Doy picks it up. Gives it back. No, he doesn't. It's blocked. I was looking for Douglas Luiz, who's been quiet today. And that's more thanks to the abilities of Rodri. And Erling Haaland wins the header before Moussa Niakate. But straight to Matt Sells, who gets that ball straight away out of his feet. He's hit that too far. Keeps it in play though. Half chance. Looking for a free kick. Doesn't come. Shoving the back there by Kovacic. Mamouche is put through here. Forest having to drag defenders out. Got to be careful. And there's a foul. I think it's to Nottingham Forest. Nico Williams comes off for Jed Spence for the final 3 minutes. Straight to Reinders. Poor pass by Elliot Anderson. Reinders brings it forward. How much stoppage time? 2 minute stoppage time confirmed. Mamouche to Kovacic. If Forest can take another point, it would have been 7 out of 9. They'd be very happy with that before the start of today. Ola Aina trying to keep it away. Jacunha with an unbelievable clearance there. So 0-0 against Manchester City, and Forest fans will be very happy with that one. Erling Haaland didn't have much to do. So the Premier League table looks like this. Manchester City on 69 points. Liverpool on 62. 7 points difference now. Newcastle in third on 62 as well. Followed by Spurs in fourth on 58. And Nottingham Forest hanging on to that Europa League spot in 57. But Arsenal find themselves in sixth with 49 points. So unless something miraculously happens, given that Nottingham Forest have only conceded 7 goals this season, they're not going to lose many games. So I would say Europa League is pretty much guaranteed. But if we can get Champions League, it would be fantastic. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please drop a comment, drop a like, be really much appreciated, and help with the algorithm, especially those likes, be very much appreciated. Until next time when we face Liverpool in the FA Cup, cheers.